Okay, so we'll move on to the TO wiring center. So just to run through some of the symbols and what they mean and the functionality of it from the outside with the case on. So you have across here all of your numbered zones which relate to the room thermostats and which one will be cooling. So hopefully whilst you've been doing the installation you've numbered each room stat so you know which one is which, so you can refer to it quickly from here. You know perhaps that Zone 1 is lounge, Zone 2 is dining room, etc, etc. The other LEDs that you've got showing here are just the power, which is permanent light, the actual wiring center itself, and then the other bulbs here are for the pump, boiler and valve. In this instance we'll cool through room thermostat 1 and you'll see this light engage, and it will actually bring the boiler, pump and valve in all at the same time. There is a dip switch that we can show you inside which actually delays the boiler and the pump demand until the valve is fully opened. But for this instance we'll just put on instigate room demand now, and there we can hear the click. So zone 1 is cooled and then it's cooling for boiler, pump and if you were to have an optional zone valve. So inside the TO wiring center, you just reference the original lights that are on the case cover there. So each one of these terminal blocks is for each zone. So this is your live, neutral and switch live to and from the thermostat, and the two bottom ones here, two bottom wires you can see here are the actuators the actuator wires, sorry, to feed the representative actuator or actuators for that zone. So if you have got more than 3 actuators assigned to one zone, you will just have to link the switch live over to your next terminal block and run your remaining actuators out through this part of the terminal block here. So you have your 8 zones. Okay, moving over to the other side of the terminal connections on the wiring center, you have your live coming in here, 230 live, to actually power the wiring center, which would come from a localized fuse spur normally. You've got your earthing terminals there. You've got your switching terminals for your heat source. It's marked, labeled boiler on the terminals. Here we've got it hooked up to the normally open, so closed circuit would create demand. You do have the option of going on the normally closed to open circuit for demand here, which you would use, say, for a valent. So that's quite handy that the volt free is automatically is already included in this. You've got the pump live, pump feed out for your localized pump. This would be a pump that's on, say, a manifold, or perhaps the localized pump back at your low loss header that relates to this manifold, so you'd be wiring your pump from there. You can, up here we've got a timer delay for pumps, so if you wish to have pump delay on, click this over to off, and it is actually then pump demand delay on. Weirdly, it is back to front on that. You've also then finally got your connections here for a zone valve if you wish to have a zone valve before your manifold. For example, if you're connecting this to an additional boiler system and you want to isolate and zone off the underfloor completely.